Bang! Boom! Man will never retire!
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
It's me, Austin!
Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional. Brett screwed Brett.
Yeah! Can he do it? Holler! Oh, and a kick out! Unbelievable!
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am the Macho King Savage.
Woo! Such a massive thong wearing fatty!
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Click the bell to be notified every time a new episode goes live. Ladies and gentlemen, are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling video game? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available exclusively through Facebook. You can do it all in the world of pro wrestling with Wrestler Unstoppable. Sorry to rush, but we got to get to the news. Stop by, grab Wrestler Unstoppable, available to all Facebook users, totally free. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts like John in Texas. John, I know you were watching the news tonight. Love giving you the shout out, brother. Give us a shout over at our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Loyalty rewards, $15 a month contributor. You can co-host a live show with me. $7.50 a month contributors entered into a drawing to do the same. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. We are responding only moments after WWE's press conference from Las Vegas announcing information for WrestleMania 40. What an explosive night. And as a huge wrestling fan, I don't even know what to think right now, because we went into this press conference expecting to get answers to our questions. What is going to be the main event? Is it going to be Rock and Roman? Is it going to be Cody and Seth? Is it going to be a triple threat, Rock, Roman, and Cody? Is Seth going to face someone else? We have no answers. None whatsoever. You have Seth Rollins come out. It was perfect. You have Roman interrupt him. I thought that was perfect. I love the banter between Roman and Seth. I have not wanted to watch a Seth and Roman match in quite a while because it was done to death in the past, but they really are making me want to see that so incredibly bad. And after tonight, I don't know where they go from here. After that, you have The Rock interrupt Roman Reigns, and The Rock comes out and he's cutting a promo, and it's so fractured and splintered, the fan response. And then he does this whole thing about whether you like it, you don't like it, whether you love it, you hate it, you will respect it. And they put up the family tree from the Samoan dynasty, the true bloodline. And to be perfectly honest with you, I was really impressed. They literally put everybody on there. If you look close, everybody down to Jacob Fatu and all these people, some guys who aren't even in or never have been in WWE, which is absolutely beautiful to see. And I love that. And then they talk about how Roman says it's not Cody's decision, it's mine, and I'm choosing The Rock. And The Rock coming out and talking about how this is the biggest main event in WWE WrestleMania history. First off, I hate to break it to The Rock, but and I get this. The WWE has this perception that Roman Reigns is the be-all, end-all right now because he moves a ton of merchandise and he's never there. He's not what's moving the merchandise. What's moving the merchandise is the people who are on the front lines every single day. Cody is at the top of the merchandise sellers list. CM Punk, before getting injured, top of the sellers list. LA Knight, this year at the top of the merchandise sellers list. It's the people who are there day in, day out, and every week. Now, the only reason Roman is as over as he is because his program has been running for 3.5 years, and it's incredibly intriguing to see where it goes. But I'm sorry. The guy is almost never on the show. You've got these huge new deals. You got all these new masters you have to serve in terms of television and streaming services. And I like the guy who's going to be out on my program and grow my audience more and more and more. Let's be honest. If I'm a brand new fan to pro wrestling, I met one tonight, someone who's not into the sport at all, watched this with me, and they were like, wow, that's actually really exciting. And I was like, oh, the Rock stuff? And they were like, no. They don't know any of the names. They're like, the white dude with the blonde hair. They were totally into the Cody part, and they haven't seen any of this before. They don't even know who Cody was by name. Cody Rhodes walking out, no music, which they missed the moment, but it made it feel more authentic. What I love is when Cody comes out and he chooses, if you didn't watch it, he chooses Roman Reigns. There's controversy right there. But then I find it interesting that Roman can trash talk about Dusty, but when he invokes the same kind of trash talk about Roman's family, now The Rock wants to get in his face, slapping Cody across the face, telling him not to talk trash about his family when you're making fun of his grandfather and his lineage. It's mine and his blood and my blood. And I get it, but we needed something tonight to close out the mystery. Oh, okay, so Cody chooses Roman. But then The Rock, they kept saying it. The Rock is on the board. The Rock can do it. He's your boss and this and that. That is the problem. That executive stuff does not belong on the program. The Rock doing all this in response to CM Punk getting injured and Brock Lesnar with his crazy situation. I understand all of it. Is The Rock and Roman box office? Absolutely. I have said it for weeks now. The last episode that we talked about this in depth, I said it. There is a show in Perth that seats over 60,000 people. And right now, tonight, if you go online, there are 30,000 seats that haven't sold. WrestleMania has been sold out for months. You can't sell any more tickets at WrestleMania. You can't sell a whole lot more WWE Network subscriptions or Peacock subscriptions because those people, that's not what they do. Are you trying to move pay-per-view buys? Because it is still available on traditional pay-per-view? Perhaps. But the reality is, you have an opportunity to serve your number one master. The people who give you all the financial money that you want for your business are the fans. This is very similar to the Daniel Bryan situation. And there's been conversation all week about this whole thing could be a work. The whole thing could be a work, and Triple H has been in on it from the beginning, and Cody's in on it, and they're playing us off. Maybe they're playing us all. They were handing out signs before Raw. We want Cody signs to try to build sympathy for his character more so, just like Daniel Bryan. You know what the difference was? Daniel Bryan was not moving the merch. And I actually heard a similar argument on Wrestle Talk News the other day. If you don't believe me, go check it out. They have a great show. Love their show. What Culture Wrestling? Same kind of conversation. Daniel Bryan was never the merchandise mover that Cody Rhodes is. This is different. Cody is already the modern day people's champion. Seth Rollins has been an amazing champion. Wrestling through injuries, all that stuff. Roman just isn't there. Now, I get it. Some people speculate that maybe he has after effects from his previous medical concerns. If that's the case, then God, at some point, cue some people in so people don't hate the guy. Because he's getting genuine hate for some of this. It looked to me tonight like what they wanted to do was flip Rock heel and potentially set up the triple threat. We got no clarity on Seth Rollins. None whatsoever. That should have been clarified tonight. We have 2 weeks until Elimination Chamber. I've said from the beginning, Rock and Roman should have been at the Chamber. If Rock was such a great executive, somebody worthy of a seat on the board of directors, you put Rock and Roman at Mania or at Elimination Chamber. Because if you're trying to move tickets and make money, which is why they say they want to do this main event at WrestleMania, you do that at the Elimination Chamber and sell 30,000 more tickets. And if you want to talk about bringing in new viewers, anybody who's going to go to see WrestleMania, no matter what happens, mainstream or otherwise, WrestleMania is going to pop the town. It's going to be the biggest WrestleMania in history, just like every other pay-per-view in the last year has been the biggest of all time, starting with last year's WrestleMania. So that you're not going to change the fact that you're going to blow all the numbers away this year anyways. Kudos to Philadelphia, my hometown, for being able to pull that off. But that's a credit to the talent and the storylines, the creative direction, all the things that WWE's been doing for the last couple of years, building to this crescendo that's going to happen at WrestleMania 40. What you haven't done, if you want to truly bring in new fans, and it's all about money and the best financial decisions for TKO and Ari Emanuel and The Rock, and if their thoughts are in the right place, you sell 30,000 more seats in Perth. You also sell the mainstream people who are going to be those ones you might pull in with The Rock main eventing Mania. They will be pulled in because it's The Rock, no matter when it is, should have done it at Elimination Chamber. Rock Roman at the Chamber, Cody Roman at the WrestleMania main event. Seth Rollins gets a different opponent. The minimum tonight should have been, we're getting Cody and Seth night one, Rock and Roman night one, Roman and Cody night two. That's what should have happened. And you didn't have to say it that way. You could have said we're doing this match, and the two winners go on to face on night two. Do it tournament style, and you just have it be Cody and Seth and Rock and Roman. We could do all that. We could settle all the business. Tonight, Rock and Roman look like best friends out there. There was no heat between them. How am I supposed to get behind a heel main event when fans are so upset already to start with all this? And I don't know. Maybe they booked themselves into a corner here because there wasn't enough conversation. Maybe nobody knew about it in creative, and they booked Cody to win the Rumble, and then Ari Emanuel and TKO come in, and they screwed the whole thing up because they put The Rock on the board, and part of his deal was getting $30 million to return to wrestling, and he wants it to be at WrestleMania, and blah, blah, blah. I get all that, but sometimes you just have to do what the fans want to do. Cody gave the whole trust me post this week on X. I get it. And I guess the trust me was he was choosing the tribal chief tonight. Great. And I have no more clarity. Unless The Rock is wrestling more than one match, now I feel like it has to be a triple threat. I would almost argue, and I hate to say this, I would almost argue that night one should be main evented by Bayley and Io Sky. Who, by the way, I noticed that Rhea Ripley tonight said Io Shirai, which I think that was a Freudian slip. But I would rather see them main event night one, and then on night two, have a fatal four-way for all the gold. Seth, Cody, Rock, Roman, for everything. And have that come out and have Cody win and take all the gold. When he said the other week on SmackDown he wants to take everything for a moment, the entire universe, that would include all the world championships too. Have Cody walk out with both belts. Forget doing it at SummerSlam. Because let's be honest, if we push Cody to SummerSlam, the Cody Roman thing, and we push somebody else down the road, Drew McIntyre or whatever with Seth, the problem I have with that is the number one guy who needs to be the focal point of WWE very soon is Gunther. Get the championships all on Cody at Mania. You have plenty of time for Cody to do the noble thing that Roman wouldn't. No one man should occupy these championships. Therefore, he could relinquish a title. They could strip him of a title. They could have The Rock be the man on the board. I'm stripping you of this title, and Gunther wins that. They could have him defend separate championships and do it where he gets stuck defending both titles in one night, and that's how Gunther gets one of them. He gets the World Heavyweight Championship, whatever. But Gunther needs to be elevated. That doesn't happen in the scenario we saw tonight. Seth Rollins needs some time off to really heal up. That didn't happen based on what happened tonight. There's a lot more questions coming out of tonight than we had answered. The only thing that maybe I think would be a clear path is the triple threat, and that's a letdown, because book that in your mind for a minute. Who wins? Do you have Roman win, disappoint the Cody fans again, and just so you can get the Hulk Hogan's record in September? Because it goes past SummerSlam. So all those fans out there who think SummerSlam is the answer, that doesn't work. Because if you get to SummerSlam, you're like 20-some days away from Hulk Hogan's record. Even I wouldn't book a loss at SummerSlam for Roman if he keeps the belt that long. So then what do? Do you have The Rock win it? He's never there. He shouldn't be in the main event to begin with because he hasn't earned it. I still believe in old school, you need to earn your opportunities. I know they say on shows nowadays, this so-and-so's reputation, they can walk in and call their own shots. That does not work in anything that's you're supposed to suspend some of the disbelief. None of that matters. And I don't want to go all the way to a Tony Khan, like having a ranking system thing. But gosh, even without a ranking thing, someone who has not wrestled in years should not be getting the main event and a world championship opportunity. It just shouldn't happen. Do you give it to Cody? You want to finish his story? His story isn't just winning a match and taking the titles. It's conquering the tribal chief. So I don't know. I actually would have been happier if Cody would have cut a promo and said, I understand, fans, your frustration. I love your support for me, but you need to understand what I've done, and this is what I have thought this week they should do. I'm not giving up my Royal Rumble opportunity for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. I am challenging Seth Rollins for a match for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm hoping he accepts, because you know he will. The Rock will face Roman Reigns to be the head of the table, to be the tribal chief for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship out of respect for our family's dynasties. And should Roman be fortunate enough to beat The Rock, then at SummerSlam, I will cash in my Royal Rumble victory for my shot at the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship, or at the next Madison Square Garden show, which Bully Ray has been touting on Busted Open Radio, and I agree with. You could do a Madison Square Garden show before SummerSlam, make it the biggest Peacock special WWE event of all time house show, and have him finish the story there. I'd be okay with that. That way we still get Cody and Seth. Cody could still have his big moment, take the championship from Seth in that regard, and finish the story where his father started the story. And I'll be honest with you, I love this beautiful touch that I was talking to my buddy about and we came up with the other day. Kudos to my buddy Nate. I think the really cool way they could wrap that, if they go the route that Bully Ray, myself, and my buddy think, is going into Madison Square Garden when Cody would win in that scenario. You don't hand him that ugly WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. You bring back the same championship belt that his father held in his hands, because Cody loves those nostalgia championship belt designs anyways, and give him that championship as the new WWE Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion. That's what I would do. But after tonight, I don't even know what the heck we're talking about anymore. None of it makes sense to me. I don't understand what WWE is doing, but we're all going to have to just sit here and wait, because they are the ones playing the game, and I didn't like all the cursing at the end. Look, I get it. You know, we're all adults here, but we're not. My audience has a lot of young folks to tune in, so out of respect for them, I won't repeat the language, and I don't endorse the language. But what I will say is, all that expletive verbiage at the end made it feel more real. Seth Rollins saying, just because you're on the board, a lot of SH this, and there was some F-bombs thrown in there and all that. That made it feel real. I really loved the interaction with Triple H afterwards in the hallway with The Rock. I wish they hadn't blurted it out. You're on a paid network, Peacock. You're not beholden to FCC guidelines. Let the foul language play out, and if you're going to use it. If not, and if it's real, that's even cooler. But if it's not real, let it play out. You're in a sport where people beat each other bloody. Dropping an F-bomb here and there on a streaming network is not the end of the earth, especially since Peacock has plenty of movies to choose from in their movie selection. They have plenty of F-bombs in it, and it's still a family network. Just my opinion. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. We'll run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks, as always, out to bensound.com, purpleplanet.com for all the music and sound effects we use in our shows. Today's show is sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bring a new friend to family game night. It's easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this game from Beazle Games by going to thegamecrafter.com and grab your copy today. Hey, play that game while you're watching WrestleMania when you get that snore fest that eventually could be Rock and Roman. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college or university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our sister website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Frog, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you so much for taking a few moments with us tonight. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great night. And I'm still pulling for Rock and Cody, or Roman and Cody.